Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all to today's English class. Today we will study fifth lesson from the book First Flight, The 100 Dresses 1. Now this lesson is written by Al Bowser Esther. So first of all, let's know about the writer. Al Bowser Esther was an American children's author and a children's librarian. Her book Ginger Pyre won the Newfrey Medal. Al Bowser based the story The Hundred Dresses on her real life experience as the girl who received Peggy's hand me down dresses. Actually, the writer, she was also a poor girl in her childhood and she received old dresses, worn out dresses of Peggy, her classmate. So she has given her real life account in this story. So let's read and find out what she talks about. Now, before we read, we are asked a question that how do we judge the people around us? By their money, wealth, and possessions? Or is there something of more enduring value to look for in a person? So, but in today's society, we can see that people are judged by money, okay, or their possessions. He is having a big car, he is living in a big bungalow. So, people judge are just like that, but there are some person who are having some unique qualities and they may be known by some other quality. So this is what she wants to analyze, to think upon through this story. And this story is a sensitive account of a how a poor young girl is judged by her classmates. Now we find someone who is in the class, okay, maybe he belonged to a poor family, okay. So but how do we treat with that boy or girl, okay. So Vanda Petnosky is a young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in an American town. These other children see Vanda as different in many ways. So now how do they treat her? Because she did not belong to America. She was a Polish girl. Polish people means those who belong to Poland. Okay, but they had immigrated to America and now she was studying in America. So how her classmates treated with her? Okay, now let's find through this story. So, beta, before we read, we are told about this Polish American community in the United States. We must know, then we can understand the story better. The first Polish immigrants, Polish, I already told you that the people who belong to Poland, these people immigrated and arrived in America in 1608. First, the largest wave of Polish immigration occurred in the early 20th century. But what happened? The largest immigration of Polish people occurred in earliest 20th century when more than 1 million Poles migrated to the United States. The Polish state did not exist at that time. Actually, at that time in Europe, it is a part of Europe, but it was not identified as Poland. It was not a separate state, it was not Poland. So at that time it was not there, the name was not there, and the immigrants were identified according to their country of origin rather than to authenticity. They were identified as Russian because many people migrated from Russia, Germany, or Austria. So they were called Russian Poles, German Poles, or Austrian Poles. But now it's a country, Poland is a country, okay. So, but at that time, as it was not there, so these people were called Russian or German or Austrian Poles. One of the most notable Polish American communities is in Chicago. It is in America. So, most of the people, Polish people, they live in Chicago and its suburb. So, Chicago is sometimes called the second largest Polish city in the world. Okay, because many Polish people live there. Next only to Warsaw, the capital of Poland. And of course, in Poland, people live there, but next population is in Chicago. Polish Americans were sometimes discriminated against in the United States. As we can see that if someone is immigrant to some other country, he is not treated equal in that. Okay, he is always discriminated, as were the Irish, Italian, Jewish. So they were always discriminated, as they are Irish people, they are Italian people, or Jewish people. According to the United States 2000 census, 6,67,414 Americans of age 5 years and older reported Polish as the language spoken at home. So, now according to 2000 census, 6,60,000 people were Polish people, which is about 1.4% of the people who speak languages other than English, or 0.25% of the US population. So you can see that how many people they had immigrated to America. They were all Polish people, but these people had migrated to America. But now this story reveals that how these Polish people they were discriminated, how they were treated in the school or other place in the society. So let's read and find out. Now it is given, yes, today Monday, Wanda Petnosky was not in her seat. Wanda Petnosky, as I told you, she is a Polish girl. Her parents had immigrated to America, okay, and she was studying in an American school. But that day, on Monday, she was not in her seat. Nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline. These Peggy and Madeline, these are two are best friends, and they are also Wanda Petnosky's classmates. The girls who started all the fun noticed her absence. Even these two girls, they always made fun of Wanda Petnosky. They even did not notice her absence that day. Usually, Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. So, usually, Wanda's room was room number 13, and she always sat at the last bench, last seat, last row, last bench. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat. So she sat with those boys, rough boys who were not good at studies. The corner of the room where there was most scuffling of feet means movement, dragging and moving of the feet, and most roars of laughter. Most roars or laughter means they kept on laughing in the class, creating disturbance in the class. All those such children they sat in that corner, and Wanda Petnosky also sat in the same corner. When anything funny was said, and most mud and dirt on the floor, and it was the place there was most mud and dirt on the floor. So she sat with those children. But Wanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. She was not sitting there because she was rough and noisy. On the contrary, she was quiet and rarely said anything at all. But as she was a Polish girl, she could not mix up with the other American girls, so she sat in that corner. But she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all. She did not create any disturbance in the class. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. Even she never laughed out loudly, she never laughed. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of smile, but that was all. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of smile. Crooked means she just gave a crooked type of smile that was not very happy smile. It was not there, but that was all. She never laughed at all, or she never roared. Okay, and she just sat quietly at her place. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat. Now, nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat, unless it was because she came all the way from the Boggins Heights and her feet were usually caked with dry mud. Now, nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat, and maybe it was the reason only because she came from Boggins Heights, and it was the place and her feet were usually covered with dry mud. But nobody really how thought much about Venda Petnovsky once she sat in the corner of the room. And but after sitting in the corner of her room, nobody cared about her, nobody bothered about her. Okay, so that was her place in the class. The time when they thought about Venda was outside of school hours. They thought about Venda only outside the school hours. Why? Because at noon time, when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before school began, when group of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the schoolyard. So it was the only time, only in the morning time, when the class children, they were coming to the school, they were talking and laughing in the schoolyard, or only in the afternoon they just noticed Venda. Then sometimes they wait for Venda to have fun with her, because they all bullied her, they all have dirty remarks on her, okay, and they just waited to make fun of her. The next day, Tuesday, Venda was not in school. So Monday she was not in school, Tuesday again she did not come to school, and nobody noticed her absence again. She was not there for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, but nobody noticed her absence. And now we come to know that Venda Petnovsky, she is a Polish girl, and the classmate bullied her. They laughed at her. Okay, nobody cared for her. She always sat in the last row, last bench of the class where all the naughty children sat. But she never laughed. She never made any dirty comments on the teacher or any other. So that was her character. And for 2 days she is absent from the class. Now let's see what happens next. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down front with other children who got good marks and who did not track in a whole lot of mud. But on Wednesday, Maggie and Paddy, these two are intelligent girls who sat with the other children who got good marks and who did not track in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Vendas wasn't there. Okay, and those who did not track in a whole lot of mud, they had not tracked, they had never gone to that place Bogenheit to track her, but they also noticed that Venda was not at her place. Peggy was the most popular girl in school. Peggy was the most popular girl in the school. Why? Because she was pretty, she had many pretty clothes, she was a belonged to a rich class, and she was pretty, she had many pretty clothes, and her hair was curly, and she had curly hair. Maddie was her closest friend. Maddie was her closest friend, and the reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Venda's absence was because Venda had made them late to school. Because these two girls always waited at the start of the day, at the start of the school, they waited at the gate for Venda to come, and when she came, they would always tease her, they would bully her, okay, they would laugh at her, and for these 2 days, because Tuesday also she did not come, they waited for her, she did not come, and that's why they got late to school. They had waited for Venda for some fun with her. So they were waiting for Venda to have some fun with her, and she just had not come. But she had not come. They often waited for Venda Petnovsky to have fun with her. They just waited to have some fun with her, but she was not there. So this is what we have read in this part of the chapter, that Venda Petnovsky, how a Polish girl, she immigrated to America, she is studying in an American school, and Maddie and Peggy, these two are close friends, and they always waited for Venda to come enter in the school, and they made fun of her. But for the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, she had not come, and because of that, even they had got late. So the next one is Venda Petnovsky. Most of the children in room 13 did not have name like that. Now Venda Petnovsky, it was quite unusual name in that class because most of the children in that class they did not have such names. They had names easy to say like Thomas, Smith or Allen as they are American children. There was one boy named Bounce, Willie Bounce, and people thought that was funny, but not funny in the same way that Petnosky was. But they even did not laugh at Willie Bounce. That name was funny, but not as funny as Petnosky. Vanda didn't have any friends. Vanda had no friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that did not hang right. So now she had no friends. She belonged to a poor family. Okay, she was a Polish girl. She came school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that did not hang right and it was quite loose, that did not fit properly to her. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. Although it was a clean dress, but it was never ironed properly. She did not have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. She did not have any close friend, but many girls of her class or the other girls they talked to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as she stood watching the little girls play hopscotch on the worn hard ground. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard, in the school playground when where other girls they were playing hopscotch, okay, and other girls they surrounded her. Now what they asked her, Vanda, Peggy would say in a most courteous manner as though she were talking to Miss Mason. Now Vanda, now Peggy would address Vanda in a very courteous way, very polite way as she was talking to her teacher. Vanda, she would say, giving one of her friends a nudge, a gentle push, giving a gentle push to her friends. Tell us how many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? So, because she always wore a faded blue dress, but when they just asked her this question again and again because she gave a different answer to that. So, what they asked her, how many dresses do you say you had hanging up in your closet? In your mirror, you have how many dresses do you say do you have? Because they asked her this question all the time. Every day they asked her this question, and what did she answer? Now, what did she answer? 100, Vanda would say. Now, what Vanda's answer would be that she had 100 dresses in her closet. And 100, exclaimed all the little girls incredulously. Incredulously means showing unwillingness to believe. They did not believe this because she always wore a blue faded dress, and they did not believe at all that why she said 100 dresses. And the little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. And all the other little girls, those who were playing hopscotch, they would also stop and listen to her. Yeah, 100 all lined up, said Vanda. But Vanda would say confidently that she had 100 dresses, they are all lined up. Then her thin lips drew together in silence, and after that she kept quiet. She did not speak any other word. What are they alike? All silk, I bet, said Peggy. So now Peggy, as they are bullying her, okay, they are making fun of her. So they asked her, are they all of silk? I bet they are all of silk. Yeah, all silk, all colors. I have all the silk dresses and they are all of different colors. Velvet too. Yeah, velvet too. 100 dresses. Vanda would repeat stolidly. Stolidly means not showing any kind of feeling. Okay, so she said confidently that she had 100 dresses that and all are lined up in my closet. Then they would let her go, and then before she had gone very far, they could not help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter. but after they allowed her to go, and when she had gone far, they could not help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter. They would start making cries, and they would laughing, okay, heartily at Vanda, because what she was saying. Maybe according to them, she was lying, because she always wore only a single dress, faded blue dress, and she said that she had 100 dresses in her closet, all are of silk or velvet and all of different colors. And at this, they would start laughing loudly. So, this is now the mystery is why she said all these 100 dresses. This is all the part of the story that you will gradually come to know. So, but for today, it is the part that we have studied. Next part would be discussed in the next lecture. So, with that, thank you.